back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Jennifer. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about my book journal update from the month of March, what books I read, what TV shows I watched, what movies I watched, and my 5-star predictions, updating that section and letting you know all of the books that I read throughout the month. And we'll set up April. The next month we'll be setting up in my book journal. So as you can probably imagine and see, my bookshelves look a little bit different. And so I am in the process of packing to move to a new apartment, which is exciting. It will be beginning of a new chapter, literally and figuratively. And so for the next round of videos, you won't be able to see my beautiful books behind me, but that's okay. Hopefully you'll be able to still enjoy the content that we have planned for the next several weeks. But thank you. Come along, join me, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's get started updating my book journal. All right, let's get started in setting up my journal from the month of March. I have my notes here, a bunch of stickers that we're going to add in, little book covers of books that I've read and going to read, and using my happy planner for some date covers, date numbers, and also the month, and some tape to put down some of the book covers. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and jump to the very beginning. And let's start with updating my bookshelf for the number of books that I read in the month of March. It was a very successful month. I read a total of 12 books, which is absolutely awesome for the month of March versus the 3 in February, which is so crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and color out 12 books, and I will be back shortly.
I know it's just a crush.
All right, let's go ahead and add in each of the books that I read from when I finished them. So the first one was The Ghostwriter. And then the next one was The Keeper of the Lost Cities Unlocked. And then third book, The Iron Trials. Fourth book, The House We Grew Up In. The 7-Year Slip. The Unselected Journals of M.M. Land version 1. Such a long title. And then Escape from Aleppo. Tilly and the Book Wanderers. Started that series. I read a lot of middle grade book this month for middle grade March and participating in that reading challenge and supporting that community. And then I listened to Max in the House of Spies. So I had 2 book club books for this month, The Escape from Aleppo and Max in the House of Spies, which was fun. And I have The Invited next. So I had a wide range of books that I read this month. And then Soundtracks was the nonfiction book that I read for the month. And then last but not least, The Lies They Told. All right, awesome. That's really filling in. I loved the decorating the flowers. It's a cute addition to the bookshelf for this month. So let's go ahead and put my markers back. Get those done. All right, moving on to my TVs and movies. I started a lot of TV series this month, but I haven't finished a whole lot. The 2 TV series that I watched, one was The Neighbors on HBO Max, and then the other one is I rewatched season 1 of The Pit before going into season 2. I lied, I still need my markers. And so let's go ahead and pull out the next color. So we'll do 2 more books for those 2 TV series. All right. So what is a TV series that you watched in the month of March? Do you have an all-time favorite that you love to rewatch? Or do you watch something new? Are you watching The Pit too? No spoilers though, that I will say. Oops, wrong color. I will say no spoilers for anybody that hasn't watched anything. Just say a TV series that you're watching, and then if you are loving it or not. Well, that book is going to have some ombre colors, but that is totally fine. All right, so then let's move on to the light gray. Nope, don't need that gray yet. Just 2. All right, so let's add in Neighbors, which was on HBO Max and was good. Short season of that. And then we have The Pit, season 1. Okay. And then I watched 1 movie from Netflix. So then we're going backwards in colors for movies, starting from the very bottom and working our way up. So we're going to add in Anaconda. It was funny. It was good. I liked it. Action movie, funny movie with Jack Black in it. So I enjoyed that one. If you enjoy black movies, then I think you would like that one as well. And then moving on to the alphabet challenge. We have several to add for the alphabet challenge, which is very exciting. So let's start from where we start off. We have Ghostwriter. So since these stickers are needing a permanent marker, so we'll add in Ghostwriter for G. And then keep your velocities unlocked, so we can do unlocked for U. The Iron Trials for I. Awesome. House we grew up in, H is already taken. 7-year slip. S hasn't been taken yet. That's crazy. That'll be a great one for S. Unselected journals just did U. Escape from Aleppo, E is taken. Tilly and the Book Wanderers, no T yet, which is cool. So Tilly. And the Book Wanderers. Squeeze it in there. Max and the House of Spies for M. And I haven't been searching specific book titles to fill in this alphabet challenge. I just, if they fit after I've read them, that's awesome. So far, doing pretty good. When we don't have The Invited, just did I. Soundtracks, just did S. And then The Lies They Told for L, we have Legacy. So, all right, well, that was a great addition to our alphabet challenge, which is awesome. And then going on to my favorite book for the month. It is The Lies They Told by Ellen Marie Wiseman. And that is a 5-star prediction book for me. So yeah, so that tells you a lot for the 5-star predictions. Yeah, so I have that results up on my channel if you're interested in watching that video. So I would highly recommend letting you know how my 5-star predictions goes. But yeah, it's a great video. And then I picked 3 more books for the next round, which is very exciting. So if you're excited to see which ones those are, definitely check out that video. And now moving on to my 12 books in 2026. I did read The Iron Trials, and I actually gave it 4 stars. So I liked it. It is the start of a series. I liked it enough that I finished the book, but I am not going to continue on in this series, which is totally fine. I'm glad I gave it a try. And so yeah, so I liked it a lot, but not going to continue. So that one I did enjoy. Now moving on to add in my nonfiction books that I have read. So the one that I read for the month of March was Soundtracks. I'm going to go ahead and put in the next 2 months that I'll be reading as well, which is Big Mall and then another book by John Acuff, Do Over. So let's go ahead and get those added to my list of nonfiction books. So I'm currently reading Big Mall and enjoying it. It's an interesting take on the emergence of the mall and the history behind it, and some thoughts on culturally what it has impacted in the United States and Canada. So I'm enjoying that one. And then in May, I'll be reading Do Over, which is very cool. So those have been added, which is very cool to see that progress being made. No anticipated books for to add. I have received a couple more, but yeah, and I'm anticipating a few more here in May. So very excited. Moving on to continue to talk about my 5-star predictions. I did finish these 3, so I'll go ahead and share my star ratings for those. So for No Exit, I gave it 4, let's see, I gave it a 4, I believe, 4.25. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say 4 stars. My Correspondent, I gave it, let's see, so many books that I read. So I have to go back and look for sure. I gave it also 4.25 stars. So I gave No Exit 4 stars, Correspondent 4.25 stars. It was really good. I really liked it, but I was just slightly missing something. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that there. And then the Ellen Marie Wiseman, The Lies They Told, was a 5-star. So yay, very exciting. Loved that one and really loving Ellen Marie Wiseman books. So I'm very happy to see that, absolutely. So now to add in the 3 new 5-star predictions, we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry, The Inevitable Ruin by Matt Dinneman, the 7th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And of course, I couldn't go without doing another Ellen Marie Wiseman, and this time it is The Orphan Collector. So if you want to dive deeper into my thoughts and opinions on the previous round of 5-star predictions, I would recommend checking out that blog. And then, yeah, stay tuned to see if these become 3 5 stars or not. You'll have to wait and see. So excited to read these books in the next month or 2 and then updating these results as well. So awesome. All right, those have been added for my 5-star predictions. And then I would hope to be doing a update on how my 10 goals are going for the year. Hopefully I will share that video soon, so stay tuned to look forward to that goal update. And then moving on to our monthly sections, let's go back to March and see which of our TBR we actually finished and read. We read The Iron Trials, The 7-Year Slip, The Lies They Told, The House We Grew Up In, The Invited. Wow, that's 5 in a row. That's kind of awesome. Something Wilder. I'm currently halfway through listening to it, but then my Libby hold had to be returned. So that's disappointing. So I'm waiting another like 12 weeks or something to get back to that one. Did not read The Moon of the Crusted Snow or Books and Bewitchment or Big Little Spells or the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The Book Wonders. Yes, I did read that one. The 13 Witches, I did not. The Best Witch in Paris, no. School Spirit, no. Keeper of the Lost Cities, book 8.5 Unlocked, yes, I did. And Ghost Rider, yes, I did. So I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books out of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books. So, I mean, that's half. That's half of my TBR. I think that's pretty good. That is a well-rounded read for sure. It was definitely fun to read more middle grade again. I should kind of maybe think about maybe adding one every couple months or something to keep that streak going. That'd be kind of fun as well. So moving on to the month of March and all of the books that I have read when I started them and finished them. Let's go ahead and add in those stickers and information. So we have those here. So let's go ahead and add in my reading experience for the month. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with the first book that I finished, Ghost Rider. I finished that one on the 3rd. So I started it in February and finished it on the 3rd of March. Oh, that's funny. The color of the date matches the box sticker. That's cool. And then Keeper Lost Cities Unlocked. I started that one in February as well. Finished it on the 4th of March, which is cool. So then that sticker sheet is good. And then moving on to the third book I finished, The Iron Trials. I started that one on the 3rd as well. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and move it back to the 2nd. It's close enough. And then finished that one on the 6th. And then The House We Grew Up In, I started reading that one physically on the 6th. So I will just put it on the 5th, which is close. Which is another similar match in color to the date number. That's kind of funny. Finished it on the 11th. Awesome. And then The 7-Year Slip, I started that one on the 10th. And then finished it on the 13th. You can tell if I'm into a book, I did get done pretty quickly, which is very cool, very exciting. And then the Unselected Journals of M.M. Lyon. That one was an audiobook, so I'm going to switch to those stickers. I started that one on the 11th, so I'll just put it on the 12th. That is a very short listen, so I finished it on the 15th over the weekend, which was fun. And then Escape from Aleppo, I read that one physically, so I started that one on the 14th and just read it in 2 days. It's a short middle grade quick read. I really liked it. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on the 16th, matching yet again the date number, which is fun. And then moving on to Tilly and the Book Wanderers that I read physically. I started that one on the 15th, so I'll just put it on the 17th, which is close enough. And then finished it on the 19th. Again, a middle grade quick reads, love it to see it. Always enjoy those. And then I listened to Max and the House of Spies. So that one was the middle grade March book club book. That was a discussion. So I started that one on the 18th. And then I finished that one on the 21st. I didn't really care for the audiobook. I wonder if I would have enjoyed the book more if that one is done. If I would have read it physically, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was interesting to see that it was just okay. A lot of people loved it. They loved the second book more than the first. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in that series. And then I read The Invited on the 20th. I started that one all perfect, right in the middle. And so then finished it on the 28th, which is cool. All right. All this reading happens. As you can see, if I read every day, I get a lot accomplished, but that doesn't always necessarily happen. And then I started the Soundtracks, which was my nonfiction book. I did try a different book on the 1st of March and didn't like it. And so I thought maybe I wouldn't read a nonfiction book in the month of March. But then I was like, no, I was really missing reading my 10 pages a day. And I didn't want to get out of habit of that. So I ended up starting Soundtracks on the 10th. So the 9th is close. But then I finished it on the very last day of March. I wasn't sure if I was going to or not, but I did. And so I finished it on the 31st. Which is very exciting. And then last but not least, I read The Lies That They Told. I started it on the 28th, so I'm just gonna put it on the 29th and finish it on the 31st. So I'm just gonna put it on 30th. So you can see if I really enjoy a book, then I read it really quickly. So it should be a good sign that if I'm not finishing it quickly, then I might not be enjoying it. So keeping that in mind, as you can see, like with The Invited, I literally read this book this whole time, and that was like the only thing I was reading. So clearly I wasn't a huge fan, so I should have realized that and probably DNF'd it. And so, but yeah, so clearly you can see I got it could have been a little bit of a mini reading slump because of that book, but that's okay. I ended up finishing it, and then I finished The Lies I Told in like 3 days. So you can see reading patterns for sure with this one. All right, let's move into my monthly wrap up. I have my Happy Planner book here, so I'm gonna grab the month out of here. And I think I'm gonna do green this time for March. And then let's go ahead and put that middle of the page. And then from here, we're gonna add in some of my statistics, which is fun. So I read 3,744 pages in the month, which is exciting. And then, like I said, I had 2 book club books, one for my Patreon with Krista in Books and Jams, and that was Escape from Aleppo, a middle grade book. And then for middle grade March's book club, we did Max in the House of Spies. And so I had 2 book club books for the month. And then my overall favorite read of the month was The Lies They Told, which is my overall favorite book. And my average star rating for the month was a 4.17. So still a really good reading month. I did really enjoy a lot of what I read. I just need to be aware of, if I'm not picking it up, that maybe I need to move on to something else. So moving on to the monthly wrap up and the books that I read for the month. So let's go ahead and write them in. So we have a Ghostwriter, and then we have Keeper of the Lost Cities Unlocked, and then The Iron Trial, The House We Grew Up In, Seven-Year Slip, Unselected Journals of M.M. Lyon, Volume 1, and then Escape from Aleppo, Tilly and the Book Wanderers, Max in the House of Spies, The Invited, I've never gotten this far across the book stack, which is pretty cool. So now let's turn it and do a soundtracks. And The Lies They Told. So it was a lot of fun to do all the way across like that. That was so cool. Okay, so then in the month of March, I ended up purchasing 9 books total, 4 ebooks on my Kindle, and then 5 physical books. So the 4 ebooks that I purchased was The Girl Behind the Gate, and that was from Amazon. And then My Brilliant Friend. Amazon again. And then the Secret Christmas Library. I'm excited to read that one at Christmas time, but it was on sale from Kindle at a really good price. And then Read Between the Lines, The Lies. Oops. That one was a Kindle first read. So that one was free, but it was still Amazon. And those are for, and then the next one, Keeper of the Lost Cities, Book 9, Stella Loon, and Keeper of the Lost Cities, Book 9.5, Unlocked. Those are the 2 books I bought physically. So Keeper of the Lost Cities, number 9, Stella Loon, and then Keeper of the Lost Cities, number 9.5, Unlocked. And those were from Barnes & Noble. And then The Home for Wayward Girls was also from Barnes & Noble. It was on a shopping trip with my mom, which was a lot of fun. And then I ordered online Big Mall from Barnes & Noble and Do Over from Barnes & Noble as well. But those were online. The other 3 were in person shopping with my mom, which is a lot of fun. And so yeah, so those are the 9 books I purchased in the month of March, which is quite a few, but I think they're all ones that I'm very excited to read. I've already started The Big Mall. I've already started Stella Loon. So, and I have these on my list from my ebooks. So yeah, so I think that is a great book haul. And that is also a video up on my channel if you're interested in watching a book haul, which is very fun. And then moving on to April, let's go ahead and fill in my TBR for April. We have the book club book for the month for Patreon with Krista Books and Jams is The Blue Castle. And then We Are Legion, We Are Bob on my Kindle from Kindle Unlimited. And then When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer, which is also on Kindle Unlimited and is part of the Start of the Timeless series. So we'll see if I like that one. And then Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and that one is a 5-star prediction and one of my backlist books as well. So lots of opportunities and reasons to read that one. Then we have The Poppy Fields by Nikki Ehrlich. And then The Inevitable Ruin. Oh, and The Poppy Fields is one of my 12 books in 2026. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yep. Misspelled that word. That's fun. By Matt Denneman, which is the 7th book in the Dungeon Crawl Girl series and a 5-star prediction. And then we have Operation Bounce House, also by Matt Denneman. And then we have the Chamber of Secrets to continue that reading goal for the year, to read the illustrated versions while listening to it on the audiobooks as well. And then last but not least, my nonfiction read for the month, Big Mall. So yeah, so a smaller TBR, but again, there's some big books in there, so we will see how that turns out. This is very cute, very purple. I love the book so long with the gumballs. I think I'd be happier to get a book than a gumball, but maybe both. I'd have to buy for more than one. So let's go ahead and set up our month of April. April is my birthday month, which is very fun. So I am going to be using these little present stickers for April, which is cool and fun. And so let's go ahead and add in these dates here. Go ahead. At first, I thought these looked very Christmas-y, but they're not. They're more colorful than that, but kind of funny for like Christmas presents. But yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and speed you up as I add in the date dots.
Every time that my mind slip, I just see my past life. Having dreams in a dream, I wonder why I carried on with the things that made you lose your mind. There's no way I can undo what I've done. Can we be strangers again, start fresh like a morning? What's so bad about that?
All right, so my actual birthday is on the 22nd, which is also Earth Day. So I always have an Earth Day birthday, which is always fun to say and talk about. But yeah, so it is coming up soon. I'm excited to celebrate that. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video and you took some time to relax and have a good drink and snack. And so thank you very much for watching. Go ahead and share your TV show that you watched for the month, or if you have any recommendation for a TV show or movie I should watch, let me know. I'd love to hear it. And thank you for watching. If you're not feeling chatty, let's go ahead and do a birthday present emoji. Let's do a present to celebrate my birthday. I love to chat with you down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.